All right, today for Unit 4, we're going to be talking about archetypes and what archetypes are and the different types of archetypes. Our objective is to be able to identify an archetype in literature and to be able to explain its purpose. An archetype is a character, a symbol, or a pattern that is universally accepted and repeated throughout stories. We see a lot of different types of archetypes in the movies that we watch and in the literature that we read, and so I would not be surprised if you recognize a few of these ideas that I give to you in this video. The first type of archetype is the character archetype. Character archetypes come in various forms: the hero, the villain, the mean girl, the nerd, the jock, the mentor, the sidekick. If you take a look at the screen, there's some pictures of a variety of different archetypal characters that exist and things that we have watched or that we have read. We have Samwise Gamgee. He is our sidekick because he's loyal and he works with Frodo to help Frodo achieve his goal. His whole role in the story is to be the sidekick for Frodo. We have a mentor in Gandalf, somebody who watches over and guides our character through the story. We have villains like President Snow from Hunger Games. He's the evil force that our characters work against. And then we have a hero, Frodo Baggins here again, posing with his mentor Gandalf because he is trying to do something good, do something positive to save his world. And then we also have Obi-Wan Kenobi. I have to give a shout out to my favorite mentor. He guides Luke Skywalker through his quest in Star Wars. But I bet you can take a minute and you can pause and you can identify at least one heroic archetype or one villainous archetype or one sidekick, mentor, etc. archetype that you've experienced in your journeys through books and movies. The next type of archetype is the symbolic archetype. This is forbidden fruit, water, fire, the different symbols that we see relevant and present in the literature that we read, in the movies that we watch. These all serve a purpose as well because they represent something in the story that is universally accepted. Water might represent rebirth, growth, sustenance, life. So those, when we see water represented in stories as a symbol, that would be the symbolic archetype being represented by that form. And then we have situational archetypes, the quest, the journey, the good versus evil. These are things that guide the story, that move the story forward. Our archetypes fit within that puzzle. A good quest would be Lord of the Rings, which you can see up there. I don't know if there's a theme here. I've used Samwise, I've used Gandalf, I've used Frodo. Now the picture of the movie trailer, but it's a quest that they go on together. There are a variety of other situational archetypes as well. These are the three that are the most common and the most widely used in what we see and what we watch and read nowadays. So that these three are the ones that you might be most familiar with. Lastly, the purpose of the archetype. Basically, as I mentioned in the definition of archetype, they're universal symbols. We relate to them, connect with them, and identify with them. When we are first introduced to a hero in a story, we understand their purpose, we understand their goals, we connect with their characters because we have already been trained. We've seen heroes plenty of times, so we can understand the intention of that character, the motivations of that character. So they make those characters easily relatable. We can recognize the villain easily because of the archetypal structure. We can recognize where the villain falls based on that archetypal structure. So take a moment, answer the questions below the video, and then we will move on to the next step.